Dude, live. Let's do this, man. I got a little lemonade vodka in me. I'm ready to go.
We're live. Hello, Carlos. Good afternoon to Vitali, the most attractive person on the planet.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. After yesterday's comment, I took offense to that. You know, girls used to love me when I was younger, man. I'm just
you
saying.
said some very personal things to me in your freelancer finance Discord today that everyone can see if they sign up for your Discord.
I said something personal?
Yeah, there was some personal stuff said there.
Like, sure, share it.
It was
share the
funny
screen.
though. It was funny. Well,
Hey,
you
the
were like,
Discord is meant to be shared. So
you were
people
like
who
Bard. You were like Bard is getting good. I was like, oh, can Bard help me find a girlfriend? And then you were like, no, it doesn't have enough hands for you to.
No. I think I said Bard said. Can you just show it? Just actually show it. Share it, or I can share it.
Yeah, let me share.
Yeah, and I did mess with Bard, by the way, for a good 30 minutes, and I don't know what they did, but this is the first time I've used it. But from what you guys told me, from I'm a little buzzed, just FYI. From
You're
what you guys,
buzzed? Why are you buzzed?
I just had dinner. I had a drink. What are you gonna do? One drink gets me buzzed. That's all I need.
That's good. That's great.
So I might be a little talkative.
Okay, good. We're gonna ask you the real questions tonight. So this is the Discord. I said, ask it to get me a girlfriend, and you said it told me you have no chance and showed me a picture of a hand with a smiley face.
I actually posted a hand masturbating, and I was like, "That's too much. I got to pull it off the Discord."
That was kind of mean, bro. That's
hey. After yesterday's comment, you get what you know. You get what you give.
It was funny though. That's why I was just like, this is hilarious. Let me put the Discord link in the chat. That's why.
Wine, whiskey. I'm drinking. Oh man, I really should get this. I searched high and low for this drink. Dogfish. Yeah, I think it's called Dogfish Vodka Strawberry. It doesn't taste like alcohol. It tastes like you're drinking a lemonade type of a drink, and it just gets you totally messed up. One is enough for me.
Do you usually drink on weekdays or just randomly you decide to?
I mean, I don't have any preference. It's not like I go heavy. It's not like I'm drinking 6 beers a day. It's not like
you've always been a bit of a lightweight. Like you just never really been like the let me get wrecked kind of guy.
Yeah. I think one drink for me is plenty, and then I just chill the rest of the night. You know.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm not advocating alcoholism, by the way, so I just want to point that out.
Well, let me talk to you when Enphase is down 70%.
It's down. What is it down? 50%? 40%? I don't even know what it's down.
I was actually looking today. There's a lot of things sitting around that 200 day, man. You notice that?
You know what's crazy? That Tesla and Enphase are the same price. Why is it the same price? Why is Tesla and Enphase the same price? They're like totally different market caps, but they're both sitting around $200. It's so weird with the way that works out. Like the growth companies all.
Yep.
Even Amazon, Google, different market caps. Even Apple, they're all around $100. What is that?
The Apple thing being $100 is crazy because it's like no matter how many times they split, it's almost like they do it on purpose to keep that stock price at $100.
Yeah, I think so.
Like that's the
make
strategy.
it seem like it's low, like it's not
just
$3
keep
trillion.
splitting because $100, you know, everyone can scrounge up $100 here and there, you know.
Yeah, no, that's true. Actually, I think Enphase, if it gets to 400, 500, which I think it will, I think the best thing they can do is just bring it back to $100.
I think a lot of that, you know what? I think a lot of that has to do with the options market. It's just a lot easier if you get that price around $100.
That's true. You know? I'm playing options right now as well. I'm doing a bunch of puts on Enphase while selling a bunch of puts. So
for the price that you want, yeah.
I got to pay for this pool, man. This pool's crazy. I got stories about the pool, but it's expensive. That's all I got.
The pool was definitely 6 figures, right?
Oh yeah. It's getting up there. It's as soon as you add anything to a pool, it's like basically a wedding. If you're ever gonna have a wedding, everyone's gonna
right. Everything's $2,000.
No matter what you do, it's thousands of dollars. Like you want to touch that piece of stone, that piece of dirt. Oh, okay. Here's $10,000 for that. Like because they consider like a wedding. Like the guys who are doing this job, they're like you're gonna do this once, and you're gonna pay up the ass for it. So I don't recommend it.
Is it indoor? Is it like heating inside of the pool?
Yeah, I got a 44-foot indoor pool.
No, not indoor. I mean, like, does it heat inside when you like get in and you can adjust?
Who has 44-foot indoor?
Rich people have 44-foot indoor pools.
Do you know what I'm saying?
It's a heated pool. It's actually a really good system. It's going to be heated, gas heated. I couldn't do electric because there's a story behind it, and I'm big on electric. I wanted that. it was going to cost me like 20,000 more to do electric because they had to dig new wires, do a
That's
400
not
amp
that
service.
much for a pool that's gonna last 2 decades or something. That's 20
I
grand.
mean, that's a waste of money. I'd rather put it into like the landscaping or something that I'm going to enjoy more. The heating, I do want to change eventually, but that's not something gas or electric. I'm not one of those zealots who's like everything must be electric right now. I think over time it will be, and I think it's heading that way, but it's still expensive to do certain things, and the electric heater is more expensive right now. So I went with a gas heater. But yeah, it's going to have automation, full automation, spa, everything. It's going to be amazing. Just super expensive.
Okay, very cool. Well, let's do daily MVPs. Chris, what's your daily MVP for today?
My wife, she gets all the credit, man. She's been keeping me up. Like I had a podcast earlier today. I was sleepy as shit.
Who'd you do a podcast with earlier?
Farzad.
Oh, you did a podcast. He's on your channel. Or you went on his channel.
No, I went on his channel.
To just talk about like Tesla and stuff like that.
Tesla and some other AI stuff and just random company stuff.
Very
So
cool.
yeah. So I was like, okay. So I did that during the middle of the day. So I didn't get to sleep that much. So today my wife woke me up. She made me dinner / like whatever. And then she also made me coffee. And I'm like, dude, I'm probably like running on fumes, but it's probably because my wife. Hopefully tonight's a quiet night and I'll probably pass out sometime when it's not so busy.
Did you tell Farzad to short Tesla?
Yeah, that'll never happen. No.
I think 100% of his portfolio is just Tesla. That's it.
No,
that's safe.
I think he's got more than that. You know, he's retired. Like he's not.
No, he has money and assets and stuff. But I think his investing. I think I've heard him say he's just old Tesla. Someone asked him. He was
I think Rob Maurer and like Dave Lee. I think they're all Tesla. All in. Or they might have 5% in like Amazon, but just to be diversified.
Yeah.
I mean, Carlos, I don't know about you, but I'm like 40% Tesla, so maybe not 80%.
I'm heavy in Tesla. It depends on the price of Bitcoin for the day. They kind of fight. I bought a lot of Bitcoin in 2020. I kind of went a little nuts. I'd have a lot more Tesla now if I didn't go as heavy into Bitcoin and Ethereum back then.
So one of the things I really want to bring up today is when people are looking at corporate balance sheets, they automatically, for some reason, there's like this trend now. It's like, oh my God, this company has this much debt. That means it's a bad company. And I'm like, no, liabilities are liabilities. And I get it during a higher interest rate environment. That's going to take a toll on you. But if the business is generating cash flow, it's doing well, debt is not a bad thing. Like I'm seeing right now, I was like, well, what about this company? It has this much debt. What are they going to do about it? And I'm like, how do you think the business invests in itself and grows? Do you think that just poof out of thin air, like just things are generated? Like, no, like if you have a successful business model, you're going to leverage up yourself so that this way you can capitalize on it and you make the spread on it. So if you're getting a return of 20% and you take out debt, that's let's say 2% a couple of years ago, just because it goes to 4% or 5% on that debt doesn't mean that you're going bankrupt. Like that's not how like finance works, right?
Yeah. If you're making more than your money, your debt, you're fine. Yeah. That's really the whole game, right?
Yeah.
And you want to leverage up because you want to compound your cash. That's just the way it's supposed to work.
Yeah. I mean, it's good to have a company that doesn't have a lot of debt on their balance sheet. And same thing when it comes to real estate. I always tell people, like, when it comes to real estate, the debt is what's letting you compound your money, because that means that your assets are growing faster than your liabilities, and at the same time, you're generating returns off of that. That money isn't just disappearing. So I think we need to get off this train that's recently starting to just creep up everywhere, which is debt is bad. That's it. And that's
Tesla
it.
Have debt or no?
It used to have debt, but they had convertibles. Debt. They had convertible debt. Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't think it has any debt.
Vitaly, you're muted.
I muted myself. I think they do have a little bit of a debt on the books. If anyone can look up the numbers, I think they do have some, but it's minuscule. It's something they can get rid of anytime.
Okay, let's ask Carlos. What's your MVP?
MVP probably would be my cat. The reason I didn't make the pod yesterday was like I took my cat in for like a checkup and I thought she was dying, and they were like, "Yo, it's time to like do it." And I called my wife and she just like started crying. This is a woman that like doesn't really like this cat very much, and so she was crying. And I was like, maybe we'll like try to hold out one more night. And I tried feeding her some stuff different. I too was up all night just trying to stay up with her, and like she's remarkably doing a little better today. I don't know that she's gonna make it out of the year, but I'm like, wow, this is like the third time I've taken her and like pulled her from the jaws of death. So I got to give her a props.
How long?
Yeah,
have you had the cat?
well, real quick, your vet, you should change vets. He keeps trying to kill her.
No, like how much are you
Three
making
times
off
in,
it?
three
Well, I
times.
mean, but every time I go in there to kill her, he's charging me $270.
Just go to a different vet.
I could
Dude.
just
Someone
keep
who's
going
gonna
every
try to
week.
keep her alive.
Yeah, he's like gives her a B12 shot. He's like, bring her back next week. Let's see how that goes.
I did one stupid thing when I was maybe 10 years ago. We had a little hamster. You know, hamsters are like $1, right?
Yeah.
So
They're not $1. What are you talking
It's
about?
They're
$5
like-
for hamster.
Because you can feed them to you. They're like food for your snake.
Yeah,
dude.
it's like
They're
food.
like
but
food.
we had a hamster pet, and we sort of fell in love with her because she was the cutest. She loved us back. Like she would wait to come home and everything.
Yeah.
And this hamster was like dying one day, like couldn't breathe, like this kind of thing. And I'm like, oh my god, we actually got really sad. We took her to Manhattan when we were in Jersey City. $250 to try to save a hamster. They said, no, you got to put her down.
What are you
They said,
doing?
just let her die naturally.
Why didn't you do CPR or anything? That stuff works on animals sometimes.
I don't know. Listen, I took her to the vet, literally over $250 to try to save a hamster because they did try to save her. And they're like, at this point, it's not worth it. You're going to be spending hundreds or thousands to keep her overnight, to do all these things with a hamster. We ended up burying her in the backyard the next day.
Yeah.
Wow.
I have a story. One of the radiologists I work with, she's like in her 60s. She's super old. But she had this cat and she loved that cat. Like I think that was like her only real friend in life,
Yeah.
right? The cat somehow needed some kind of surgery or whatever. Bro, she had it flown via helicopter to Johns Hopkins in Baltimore from New York City.
Holy shit.
I was like, dude, I didn't even know that you could do that. Well, the
I
cat
know
got,
the service.
That's
think
Where's
that-
that button on the Uber app? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
Yeah.
wow. Chris, you just one
Yeah.
upped us on our story.
Metaverse.
Yeah.
Well, actually,
No,
I got a
it's-
story too. Listen, I got a story. My
Mhm.
sister's like has always loved animals. Like she's a PhD in biology. Like she's really loved animals. And we had a hamster too when we were kids, Tequila. And she took her to the doctor one day, and the doctor was like, she has brain cancer. And so they're like, obviously, let us know when you want to do the euthanasia. She's like, no, I want to operate. They're like, it's like $2,000.
Oh my god.
She did brain surgery on a hamster. I mean, it died, but still. Like,
Well, as soon as they got the scalpels this big, it
as
just
soon as they got this, yeah, they just cut the whole head off. It was like, but
Oh,
still,
man.
yes, like she paid several $1,000s to
Yeah.
do.
Yeah,
brain surgery
when
on
we
a
love our
hamster.
animals, we spend a lot of money on them,
Yeah.
an unreasonable amount of money.
I had a cat for a week in second grade, and then my mom got scared of it and she returned it back to Petco.
Why'd she get
Well,
scared of it?
Good
Well,
story.
my mom-
Heartwarming.
say?
How do you get
Heartwarming story.
What's so scary about a cat?
Bro, my mom used to have dreams in India of like cats and dogs chasing her, so she was always scarred by cats. But my sister was begging for a cat in second grade. My sister was like in sixth grade, and so we finally got a cat. And then my mom could not stand the sight of it, and she was like, "Nope, we have to return it after a week."
Yeah, I mean, you guys know in certain religions, like certain animals are super revered. Like I didn't know this, but in Islam, cats are super revered because one of the stories behind it was Prophet Muhammad. I guess he was sleeping, and on his prayer robe, like a cat came and like slept on it, right? But instead of waking the cat up and shooing it away, he actually cut his own prayer robe around it. Because he revered cats so much. Because think about it, cats actually protect humans from the plague,
From the what?
from the plague because
Killing
of
mice.
rats. Yeah, because the rats back in those days, rats and stuff, it could be an infestation and spread a whole bunch of diseases. And we may think of cats as like a nuisance, but they're part of the ecosystem that keeps us somewhat safe.
I don't think of cats as a nuisance. I love cats.
Yeah, I think and
I'm not
dogs.
sure, I've never heard that cats are a nuisance.
Yeah, for me,
They're just super hit or miss because if you get the
Yeah.
wrong, it depends on the personality of the cat. If you get one of those cats that's like only cat that they just want nothing to do with you, then you're literally just a caretaker. You get none of the benefits of having an animal, but all of the responsibility, and
Yeah.
that's annoying as
It has to
hell.
love you back. That's true.
Yeah, you got to have some,
Yeah.
got to play with it or something.
Carlos, how
Otherwise,
long did you have the
you're
cat?
out.
I got this cat in 2006, but she's like 16.
Oh my goodness.
She's at
But
the
do they-
end, man.
Do they live to that long, to 16
No.
years, or no? Where,
Like
wow.
12 to 14, but she's
And
she's
why does
growing.
your wife not like her?
she just, she just wants the house like always clean. And cats, they'll leave a mess or they vomit or there's hair.
Did she
She's
make that an issue before you guys moved in? And did you have to like negotiate? Did you have to negotiate with her? Like, no, like I'm keeping my cat? Or
That's his
No,
house,
it was
man.
just
she had to negotiate to get in.
Yeah. No, it was just like, obviously that's my responsibility. It's like I'm gonna completely and solely take care of her. But
all right. It's called Cat Junkies now, guys.
Okay,
Oh,
I want to talk about Apple and then we'll get to Alibaba. So the COO of Apple or something sold 187,000 shares a couple days ago, $30 million worth. So here's the question I want to lay out to the floor. Is Apple a good stock to buy right now? Because I think he sold 187,000 shares because he was like,
how many does he have?
I don't know, but someone who sold
matters.
$30 million of shares. Like,
I mean, look, those guys, man. Look, he has expenses that you have no idea about. Like that could be his pool.
30 million, bro.
That could be his pool, honestly. 30 million bucks or his backyard. So I don't think that's too much for a guy who's what is he, CFO? You said
he's some C-suite exec, but like
why don't you just look up right now?
Tim Cook makes 50 million a year. Like he sold 30 million of stock. That's a lot.
Well, when Tim Cook, we actually did this podcast with
we did we calculate
50 million is maybe his salary, his options and his perks and all that all adds up to like 800 million. Okay, so something crazy.
COO sold 187,730 shares,
and how much
30 million in stock. I'm gonna try to find how many he has.
I mean, look, we've had this discussion about insider trading or large insider trading, and we even talked about Karp with this. Could be taxes, right? You might have to pay some taxes.
Cameron Vincent says, I got so many Apple puts, I might be fucked. Yes.
Bro, the guy, hold on, Vitaly.
You don't put puts on companies like that. You don't do that.
Yeah, why would he put puts on that?
You have no idea. Like Apple could come up with something next day, just make bank, and then your puts are totally smashed.
You know what? I disagree with that. I think the
obviously
you disagree. You think buying puts on Apple's a good move?
Wait, hold on. Before Chris goes, Before Chris goes, the guy sold 27% of the total shares he has.
All right, he sold a fifth,
27% of your share.
Okay.
Share. What do you call that?
I mean, did Tim Cook sell 25% of his stake?
I'm just saying, bro. The COO, the chief operating officer, is like, I'm going to reduce my position basically by a third at 150
I know,
bucks.
but he's been there probably. How long has he been there? He wants to cash out.
That doesn't matter at this point. He's saying the shit is valued properly or overvalued, and he's cashing in. Like,
no. You don't always sell because of the value of the asset. He might just need the money or want the money now. You
need 27% of your. If you believe Apple is on another $1 trillion S curve, you're going to sell 30% of your position.
I mean, I'm not going to talk about how much Enphase I sold at 300. I sold enough to pay for a pool, not because
but Enphase was obviously overvalued to the point where it made sense.
No, it doesn't matter. I didn't sell it because I wanted to. I know what the future value is going to be in my brain, at least, and I was willing to hold it. But if I have something else to do with the money right now, I will do something with the money. But as a long-term investor, which this guy clearly was, he's been there for a decade, probably. I would assume he's put in his time. He deserves to cash out and buy himself a nice backyard or whatever he's doing with it. I don't find any problem with that.
The reason why it's not a bad idea to buy some puts is because if you look at companies,
that's all he was thinking about the whole time. By the way,
no. I'm just saying when a company is super strong and it's in a position where it's like nothing can go wrong, the financial cost of those puts are actually very low. Yeah. So what happens is it gives you the ability to buy insurance at a very cheap price, right?
I get what you're saying.
Things can become very weird where the market doesn't support the stock price, and there could be some kind of circumstances or an event that happens, and it's like, oh, you know what, now all of a sudden those puts really start printing. So with the companies that you want to buy puts in are companies not necessarily that are overvalued and that everyone sees that it's going down, but it's the ones that people don't necessarily realize that could have some weakness. I mean, we've seen Apple go from 177 to 130, right? There's so many people that said that'll never happen. They have this, that, and the other thing. And I'm like, yeah, that's probably true that it'll never happen. But then what if it does, right? So people who buy puts, you don't buy it just to get just a return. But also if you have Apple and you want to make sure that you can sleep at night, you could do that too.
I think you're wrong. I think you're wrong once again, because he could have sold a ton of covered calls. If he really thought he would have made a fortune anyway doing that. And instead of buying the puts, which is costing him money, he could sell the covered calls, and that would have been a better option. And sell some shares. There's no problem selling shares if you made He put it up 1998. This guy was there. Okay, this guy deserves to sell his whole position besides just 30% of it.
Seriously.
Yeah.
No, but
And-
no, but if
well,
you
and
sell
when
your whole
Tesla-
position,
Tesla
this
goes
is
to
the
2
problem
trillion,
with being a C-suite
I'm out.
executive. You can't keep selling because shareholders are not going to feel comfortable with all that selling. So you can't just get rid of 30% of your portfolio after one of the worst years we've had in the past 10 years in 2022 and not act as if shareholders are not going to feel like that's not a big deal, especially when Apple has 0 products in the pipeline that are going to be meaningful for like the next 5 years, in my opinion. There's no car and the headset's going to be a dud, in my opinion. So like,
We
and then
should
the
have that.
CEO
We
is
should have
selling
that debate.
30 million bucks.
The headset being a dud. I don't agree with
I
that.
want to
at all.
respond to J Duff. Can you put that up? Yeah, obviously not. I was gonna make a joke. But no. Look, first of all, I can disagree with somebody and still like them a lot. I think Chris is a great guy. I think Amit is a great guy. They both don't know how to invest. That's different. That's totally different than the people they are. In fact, Chris and Amit are invited to my pool party. As well, Carlos might not make it because he's in California. But everybody on this pod is invited to the pool party in a couple of months because I like all of these guys. But it doesn't mean they're good investors.
Yeah, I mean,
It's like the most disrespectful.
we
Well,
may
I had to
funda-
make it interesting.
Yeah.
This is a podcast.
we may fundamentally agree with each other's strategies, but you know what? There's logic and reasoning behind each person. And one of the cool things is that you'll see it play out live because over time, when we do these pods,
Yep.
we can see, like when I was suggesting buying puts on Enphase, it was like, oh no, let me just sell covered calls. The covered calls didn't print as hard as those puts did they?
That's so
You know?
ridiculous. I don't
So
even want
I'm
to say how
just-
much money I took out of Enphase. It's just
All right.
it's uncool to say.
I know, but at the same time, those puts would have been very pretty to buy up because they were
Not interested. Not interested.
No, but Vitaly, you are right because you sold. If you didn't sell at the time, you were smart
Yeah.
enough to sell. If you didn't, then Chris is right. Like the puts.
Well,
would have printed.
no. See, the problem with your short-term thinking is that you think you're right because we're in a down market. What happens in 2 years when Enphase is $400 or $500? Who's right then? Are you
No,
still
I'm
right?
not-
But
No,
Vitaly,
I'm-
you're smart enough to look at charts and be like 340 is
No,
obvious.
I
Like, if
understand,
Tesla
and
was a
that's why-
trillion right
that's
now,
why I
would you
sold,
not
but-
be selling? If Tesla was a trillion, would you not be selling right now?
Well, that's the mistake I made, by the way. But when Tesla was
But see,
a
that's
trillion,
my point. At some level, you can
Yeah.
accept like, yo, this is overvalued. You can accept that, right? It's
I
not
can,
crazy
and
to
that's
do
why
that.
I got rid of some of my position. That's why I sold the covered calls. But
So what's the difference
I-
between that and a put?
well, okay, I told you the difference a million times. For
Well,
the
the put
puts, you
takes
have to
time to earn
pay.
the money. You don't make the
you
money
have
right
to
away.
pay for it. I have to pay for that insurance. A covered call, they pay me. When I sell something, they pay me. I'm trying to get paid, people. I don't like paying other people for things.
Yeah, but how much? But the thing is, even if you're thinking about, okay, look, they paid me, right? The amount of money that you would have got on the put side would have been way more than the call side. During that time, I don't know how far out those.
Fuddbucker.
Yeah, I don't know how far out they sold. Vitaly, why didn't you sell your position and buy a few puts?
But also
Close it a little
you can lose an unlimited amount of money buying puts. That's part of the
No,
problem.
no. You lose
No.
your premium.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey,
you just lose premium.
It's not. Yeah, we're not doing like naked shorting. I think that's what you're referring to. But we're not doing.
Oh,
that.
okay. If you're buying them against your shares,
If I
yeah.
buy a put, no, you can just buy a put saying that I think it's going to go down. You can pay the premium of whatever it is. It's $5,000, by the way. It's a lot to pay for a
lot of money,
two-year put. So I was thinking, should I do the puts? I was looking at it. It's not like I didn't check, but the problem is, why would I pay $5,000 when someone else on the other side is going to pay me $5,000 to do a covered call? That seems like a better thing. I get paid, and I know it's going down, but I get paid, and I still want my shares. This is the big thing. I don't actually want to lose my shares. And right now, I'm trying to figure out a way to buy all my shares back that I sold. Like right now as it heads down. So it's a different strategy, but I understand what Chris is saying. It's not that he's wrong. It's just a different strategy.
Let me give a shout out to
Sorry,
Jonathan,
Chris. Go ahead. You can finish up there.
who purchased a 6-month subscription to his live chat. Carlos, we got someone.
It's $11 a month, buddy. You owe us $100. $111.
Carlos, Phillips
Just put it-
cash apped me $11 because we were joking around that it's going to be a subscription. So I have to send you. I sent Chris $2.75 on the cash.
Right. I think I saw that. I
didn't
saw
get
that.
shit.
Who was that?
And then Philip
Johnny.
today sent me 0.000069 Bitcoin on Cash App. I was driving to work and I get this. I'm like, this motherfucker is so funny.
Yeah.
There you
Hold
go.
it. Hold
Charlie
it.
looks like a swinger. Ligma.
Ligma said, okay.
Ligma Johnson.
I
So-
don't want to say anything.
So one of the strategies of investing that I've
Ligma sack.
right, Chris,
Yeah.
continue.
Now, one of the things that I've been a little bit more attuned to is trying to invest not just based on the company's fundamentals and stuff, but also looking at factors that may be out of the company's hands, in which case everyone is predicting everything to go right. And then the minute it doesn't go right, those things can go 20 to 1 in terms of returns, right? So if you have, and Ray Dalio says this, and a lot of great investors, you want to look for those opportunities where you have exceptional returns with the lowest risk possible. So if I'm risking $1 and my total return possibility is 5, what happens is, now let's say I buy 5 companies that are in that 1 to 5 zone, right? All I need is for one of them to hit what I needed to hit, and literally I cover all the rest of them. If 2 of those things hit, that means that I'm doubling my money. If 3 of them hit, I'm tripling my money, right? So these are the kinds of things that you look for, like binary. And the way that I would do it is through options, but long dated options. So that's the way that I typically want to invest in things. So like even with like Enphase and stuff, at the time I wouldn't have said, okay, just buy a 6-month put. I would have said, no, buy like a 2-year put, just because if something does happen, it'll cover you on the downside, in which case you can sell those puts, right? And then buy more Enphase when the valuation is a little bit more reasonable. So that's my logic. And it's the same thing with Apple too. Like right now, I would say when companies are super strong, that means that the put prices are going to be exceptionally low, which means that you have a much greater potential for future return if something happens that we don't know. Like let's say right now, China, God forbid something happens and the Chinese government said, you know what, you want to keep messing with TikTok? That's it. Apple is cut off. And we want Apple to be out of this country tomorrow morning. What do you think is going to happen to the share price of Apple? Now, it's not something that's predicted, and hopefully it doesn't happen. But if it does happen, it could be something there. What if a nuclear bomb hits Ukraine tomorrow and the entire market craps the bed? That one put that you bought that might have been like a throwaway put could go 20x, right? So I'm not saying that this is going to happen, but I'm saying these are the kinds of.
You're basically saying you're basically saying to buy insurance. That's what
ridiculous.
you're saying.
Yeah.
It's not even good insurance.
Yeah, and I think Eric says it. Eric put it the best. When you lose small. When you win big. That's what the strategy is.
These people have.
Do you not believe in insurance, Vitali? Do you not like Geico?
I believe in car insurance. I don't believe in Enphase insurance because, first of all, right now I'm selling puts. You understand what I'm doing?
Yes, I know, because you text me every time you fucking get your premium, and you're like,
no, I haven't texted the last few times. It's on the Discord.
You've been doing more?
Patreon. Yes, a lot more for the Patreon members. If you join it, $5. It's not $1. It's $5. Basically, you can see the trades me and Carlos do that are in our public account.
Wait, really? If we pay $5, we can see all your trades?
Yeah.
Like
in my big public account.
Channel. Every time we do a trade, we take a screenshot.
I'm gonna pay the $5. I want to see everything you do. I want to stock every move.
And I'm selling a lot of puts on Enphase. Today I was like, should I sell another put? Because look, it's stupid what they're willing to pay right now. If Enphase goes to, I think $100 even. I looked at it today. They're willing to pay you $13 a share, $1,300 till 2025. So that means it has to go to $87,
86,
which is like the PE by the forward PE right now of Enphase is like I think 38. 44. No, it was like 38. I looked at, but even if it's 40, imagine it goes to $88.
The market cap would be less than 10 billion.
Like. This is like I don't know if that the sound I hear bad sound.
Who had 28 minutes into their into the call for Enphase? Because eventually we knew that this was going to become the Enphase podcast.
No. But I'm take a drink.
Someone is taking shots right now.
I have vodka in here too.
I have nothing.
Who says that? AR selling puts is a bullish strategy. Yes.
No, yeah, exactly. And then so
selling puts, not buying puts.
I'm looking at this and I'm like $88. I mean, what world is this?
Wait, it would have to go down like another 50%, 40? No,
more than that. More
than that's why I'm estimating the market cap would be about 8 billion. It's like 20 billion now. So like 8 billion. I mean,
and the PE would drop to around a 20 or less, which is for a company growing, even if they slow down to 50%, not 70% right now. Let's say they slow down to 50. It's just stupid valuations. It's like when we saw Tesla hit like a 30 something PE and it's like it just got gobbled up. You know what I mean? So if that happens, I hope you people are paying attention. And I'm not worried about getting those shares when I sell those puts.
Yeah, selling puts on profitable companies is actually not a bad strategy. That's a good way to generate income. the ones that I know I've seen some people, and especially recently with among retail investors, is to try to buy puts on companies that are that are like super profitable, right? So yeah, I mean, I get. For me, selling puts is like putting the sword of Damocles in on top of you. You know, where you have an unlimited,
The what?
the sword of Damocles. You never heard of that before?
What the heck is that?
It's a term where basically like at any point you can be cut in half, right? It's a very I'll look it up so we could show you guys, but it's a term. It's a term. So yeah, go ahead.
Let me ask you a question. It doesn't make sense to sell cash secured puts and covered calls at the same time as a hedging strategy.
You can do that where basically, but the problem is that's like a strategy where you think the company is going to stay flat, right? If it goes up, you're going to lose on the call end because now the premiums that you got will cover up to a certain extent. But then on top of it, plus the premium on the puts will cover you. But at the same time, if it goes up too fast, that means that now you're kind of stuck. So those calls that you sold are now going to negatively impact your returns. Because if it goes up 50%,
is there a way to do it strategically to hedge, or do people do that? They sell.
There is a way to do it, but I don't want to turn this into the options weekly. So let's not go there.
No, you did mention at least one thing. When you believe a profitable company like Tesla, this was a mistake we made. At $100, I can't believe we didn't sell any puts for Tesla or even go long on some calls. It's kind of stupid. And if it does happen to happen again, that the macro takes us down, like it's 50%. Just a no-brainer to do. It's literally a no-brainer to do that because
I bought Tesla calls. I bought some. It wasn't a lot, but I bought some. You know.
No, I think he's saying sell puts to people.
Sell puts, buy calls
against
at
that
price.
Right.
Yeah, but
if Enphase ever hits 100 under 150, I buy the shares. I sell the puts. I use the put money to buy the calls. I don't like this insurance thing that you keep talking about because like the upside is so much greater than the downside in a stock like that.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing. When it comes to something like Tesla and it's already undervalued, the total return that you would get from locking up your capital and collateral to secure that put, because when you sell the put, you have to secure it with cash. It's not good.
Only
the
cash,
return
margin too, if you have it in your
you can
account.
cover it with margin too, yeah. But the thing is, I think it's better off to just buy a call on it. And it's, if it's that undervalued, that the point where Tesla got, buying some calls was the right move.
Mine is a super bullish strategy where I believe it's super undervalued. Pay me for it because you're a gambler. You want insurance. You're a gambler. You pay me for that privilege, and I get to use that money for the call. That's the way I like to do it. I like to go long on things. I don't like to do this shorting, especially great quality companies. It doesn't make any sense.
So you wouldn't short Nvidia right now?
I think it's overvalued if everybody keeps talking about it, but I would never short Nvidia. That is like a dumb thing to do.
Would you buy puts on Nvidia?
No, that's shorting Nvidia. You mean
shorting
puts?
Is technically a little different.
No. It's shorting. You're taking the opposite of the trade of where Nvidia is headed long term. Short term, yes, overvalued. Blah blah blah. It goes down to 150 again. Whatever. That's an opportunity to buy, not to waste money on puts. That's idiotic.
And also
wait to buy shares.
And also and also consider, why are people willing to pay such a high premium? I mean, Nvidia right now is at the top of their game.
People don't know what they're buying.
Well,
I don't know if that's exactly correct.
When it comes to smaller companies, I would agree with you that I think that have a higher retail presence. But when you have like large institutional funds dropping money into companies like Nvidia, I don't know. I mean, then again,
buying.
You think so?
Yeah. Who do you think drives the price up from $150 to $260? You think it's the retail investor? It's not the retail investor here.
But that's what I'm saying. This is
the institutional investor making that PE totally stupid because they're following trends and the algorithms didn't follow the trends. They are traders just like we are discussing right here. They just have way more capital to play with. They're not smarter than us. Okay. Because
it seems like I've seen nothing but bullish articles being pumped out by the likes of a lot of stuff like Morgan Stanley, Bank of America. They all raise their prices to like 300 plus right now, right? So, I mean, I'm not one to look at. I used to be more like, okay, let me look at what the Wall Street price targets are and then try to just use those as a benchmark. But I found that that's actually a very unsuccessful strategy. When I combine it with using other valuation metrics like an Altman Z-score and then figuring out the valuation is, and then on top of it, layering on analyst calls, that's been a more successful strategy for me. So, yeah, I don't know.
I think go ahead, Vitaly.
Well, when these people, by the way, release their price targets, and I've been paying attention very closely to these price targets for a long time because I used to believe them. That usually means you should go the opposite of those people. So if they're telling you Nvidia is going over $300, I would bet you Nvidia is not going to last if it ever hits $300. Not going to
Yeah.
last there. So I would not be a buyer at $300 where they're going to be pushing all their institutional clients to be buyers. It's idiotic because they're going to be selling on them. The same.
They'll be
people
selling
who are
5% before 300. They'll be selling at 295, starting to
whatever
dump.
it is. Yeah, they're getting ready to dump on you. So they
and
missed
this
the
is
Funny
not
is all the stocks that we're talking about, Enphase, Tesla, Apple, Nvidia, they're all sitting on the 21-day MA. Right
No.
now.
I'm not sure what you're looking at, but
Trading view.
Enphase is way under the 200-day, way under. It's prime opportunity to start buying.
Enphase right now, I'm looking at the 21-day. It's at
By the
190.
way, I think Seeking
100-day
Alpha,
65.
Let me bring it up.
Seeking Alpha is in cahoots with the institutions because my friend wrote a 10-page article about why Nvidia is overvalued.
Yeah.
Research, all that stuff, and his article got rejected today from being published. So,
But isn't that whole site just based on individual like contributors? It's not like
yeah, that's why he was like, "Why is it getting rejected?" Like you're as long as you do your research, like it should be. And he's a good author. Like he like publishes, So
what
I
are the
think
reasons they give
someone
them?
paid off Seeking Alpha to not put out that article. I think that's what happened.
Okay,
Oh,
so I'm looking at. Should I share the screen if you guys want to see an
I'm just
actual
joking,
chart?
by the way, but
You
yes,
want
I
to see a
mean,
chart or no?
what is it? 193, 190, 193, 170.
Yeah, go ahead, share your screen, Vitaly.
Sure.
Futtbucker is short Nvidia. Don't something like 80% of options expire worthless. I'd rather be a seller than a buyer.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
100%.
80% expire worthless. That's just giving away
Yeah.
money.
Yeah,
And some of them-
exactly. I'd
and some
rather
of them-
You literally just gave someone your money.
to me. They gave it to me. Okay,
And
so
you buy
here-
bull with it.
exactly. I'm paying for a lot of shit with it. So here you go. If you're just looking at Enphase, it's on a downtrend still. It's not looking positive for anybody. So I'm DCAing, but it's not looking positive right now. I still see a possibility of around the 170, maybe 160. But
If
anyway,
it's not looking positive, why didn't you tell me to sell at 215 so I could make $500 in profit?
that's so idiotic. It's crazy. I don't even want to respond to that.
Like I wanted to make that.
That's
I was
so
staring at
idiotic.
$500 on Robinhood, and I'm like, well, Vitaly told me that this is a gambler mentality, so
Oh,
I won't
God.
do it. And now all that profit.
Well, okay,
is-
so you're down $500. Are you down $500?
no, I'm not down. I'm just saying.
What are you at? What are you at?
No, I'm like a little. I'm like up $20 or something.
Okay, so you're up $20. Tell me the Palantir trade. What are you up again?
No, why do we have to bring up Palantir?
I'm just wondering. What are you up on Palantir?
Why do we have to bring up Palantir?
How much are you up on
I just
Palantir?
wanted to
Answer the
make
question.
$500 on my end.
Can
You
you
said
answer
buy
the
at
question?
180. I bought it. It runs up to 215. I'm like, should I sell? You're like, nope, that's a gambler. I'm like,
All right.
Vitaly's 46. He's a smart guy. He has a pool.
By the way,
I'm
I
gonna
sold
listen
the
to
He has a
215.
pool.
sold
And
I
everything.
your
love how
pool
that's
cost
like
me
now.
$500.
Like that's
I was at the dentist.
Yo,
You know how much the dentist
Guys,
is charging me? I
guys,
could have paid for that dentist payment.
Okay, I hope
With
you
those
know
$500.
everybody listening in the comments. Do not follow Amit because he can't think for himself. That's number one. And he needs $500 to feel wealthy. Okay, so number two, you're following a guy every day on YouTube who needs $500 to be profitable. Just think about that for a second.
Look, hold on. I don't
Before
care
you
who
listen
are.
to all his
$500
Palantir research.
$500 is
Just think about it.
$500.
Okay,
$500.
can I just finish this and then you can make fun of me?
$500 is a steak dinner. Last time I checked.
Okay, so anyway, we're under the 21-day right now. The orange line's the 21-day. This is the red's the 50, the green is
Yeah.
the 200. And prime opportunity was when I actually told you to buy. The RSI was around 30, and then this was dipping down to 180s. That was a prime opportunity to pick up some shares. But it's no saying, it doesn't mean we won't go down to like 170 or 160. That's still, I think, within reach. And I'm hoping it does hit because that's when I start converting my dividend portfolio to Enphase under this blue line, basically.
Look at Apple real quick. Bring up Apple.
Sure.
Wait, Carlos.
Because I also think this guy, this
buy
guy
Apple
selling
right now. If you had
Huh?
if you had some available cash to buy Apple, would you buy Apple? Right now?
Apple is bullish, man. Apple is over the 21-day,
I
over
would.
the 200.
But I actually think there is something to what is it? The COO selling that. I think he might just be thinking that the bottom's going to come out of the market. It might not be specific to Apple, but that just like this market doesn't really make sense. I just think we need a real pivot from the Fed that they're going to stop raising rates until the money comes back. Like there's a lot of money that's come out of the market. It's like everybody I know, everyone's portfolio is red. Where'd all that money go? It's like that moment when like the tsunami's coming and all the water rushes out before the wave comes and hits you.
No,
It's like, where's all the money?
but on a fundamental basis, why would you invest in Apple? What is like is there any bull case you have for Apple?
Personally, and we can and should discuss this. I think that it seems like they're real quiet, but their entry into VR is going to be no joke.
Really,
They're not
you're
coming in
bullish
with a
on this
headset.
VR thing.
They're coming in with an ecosystem and app store. They're coming in. They're going to come in hard, man.
How many
I think
shares do you have of Apple again?
Me?
Exactly.
I have no. I have a little.
No, but it was a hypothetical. I asked.
I'm
It's a
saying.
hypothetical. I asked if he had money to buy Apple, would you buy?
Listen. I made a boatload of cash in Apple, and I'm fine not holding Apple for anything more than some dividends right now. But again, it's because other companies that I want that I think are going to grow more are on sale right now. You know, I did. I bought some Tesla today. I bought some Enovix today. I bought some.
I bought some Tesla and Enphase today. I bought 3 shares of Enphase and 2 shares of Tesla.
Nice.
By the way,
Listen, a buddy of mine called me today, and he told me his like 70-year-old. Huh?
I said, good job buying some Enphase. Good job.
that was
Nice.
that was like a pat on the head. He's like, good job.
A buddy of mine,
puppy.
a buddy of mine called me today and told me that his dad is like 70 something years old. He's got a 7-figure portfolio that he's living off of, right? He's married to this woman who will inherit the money, and he's going to be splitting it with them. And he's like, look, man, he's like, I probably got like 10 years to live. He has a bunch of health problems, but he was looking to see what he could do. And he was calling him to talk about Tesla. And he bought something like 50 shares of Tesla today. He just got real excited about it. Heard Kathy Woods on CNBC. And he said, this guy's like 70 years old, and was like, you know, should I just go like all in on Tesla, you know, with this money that I have? Like, the guy's considering spending hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Wait, the guy's spending his dad's money on it?
No, his dad called him to ask him about this company, Tesla. He's like, I've been watching it for a while, but I heard Kathy Woods talking about it. She was yelling at the Fed, talking about the future of Tesla. And a lot of what she said made sense. This guy, 70 years old, is like really excited about it. He spent, you know, he bought 50 shares of Tesla today.
So
thinking about doing 50,
so
100 and more.
When you're 70, you shouldn't gamble.
Yeah, you shouldn't gamble.
Well, that's what I said. I said you should not be doing that. But just the idea, I was thinking about this today because I wanted to ask you guys, like, what other company excites people like this? You know, what other company, what other stock? Forget about company. What other stock excites people like this? That's warranted. I mean, people get.
I have an answer. But
I agree, Carlos. But when you turn a certain age, your job is to preserve wealth and capital, not the other way around. You know, like at that age, you like, this is the problem that I have with my dad. Okay, my dad is fairly well off, but this dude is like in his 60s, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna make a brick factory in India. Like, literally, this is what he does in his spare time.
That's maybe because he's bored. Maybe that's why he wants to do something.
I get it, but the whole point is, I asked him, like, Dad, you think I'm gonna go to India and run a brick factory? You know, he's like, I'm gonna leave all of this stuff to you. I'm like, come on, man, just calm down.
But you could just sell the factory, Chris. Why do you have to run it? Why?
Yeah, tell your dad to buy a 30-unit apartment building in New York.
Yeah, tell your dad to buy a unit, you know, a 20-unit building in Texas.
Yeah, I mean, I get that those kinds of things are there, but I don't want to deal with the headache of trying to deal with the Indian legal system and inheritance rules and all this other stuff. I don't know the employees. Like, all I'm saying is, when people, at least with this guy, it's easy. You know, you have Tesla stock, you can just transfer the stock over to like the son or whatever, right? But this is the thing: when you get to a certain age, enjoy the money. Neither me or my brother need the money. We're doing fairly well off on our own. We want him to go and enjoy life. But instead of enjoying life, he's like, no, I need to make more money. Like, if this guy's got like that much money, bro, if I get to that point and my wife passes away, honey, if you're listening to this, you know what I told her? I'm just going to go out there. I'm just going to do cocaine and bang a bunch of Thai hookers, bro. I know.
Damn, right on the podcast. Yo, can I join you, Chris?
But that's if my wife is dead and I have all this money and I'm going to go to heaven after anyway. So
you know, wait, hold on. Why would
you're bringing your
how do
hoes
you
with
get
you?
access to heaven by banging Thai hookers and doing cocaine? Wouldn't
I mean, of course, I'm going to do confession.
You didn't read that part in the Bible limit?
If you do that, you get 72 virgins, I heard.
I'll do confession, you know.
Well,
yeah,
hold
right.
on. How did your dad get his money? How did he? How's he comfortable right now? Did he do stocks, like business?
Yeah, he did. Well, he worked all his life, so he saved money. He had his retirement 401k. He invested in real estate in India also for a good period of time. You know, so all those things just add up. Like, naturally over time, one of the things that makes Asians especially very successful is that they have always been investing. There's never like live paycheck to paycheck. Like, we never were, like, growing up, we never really had this like extravagant lifestyle where other people, you know, maybe living like, okay, I need to live in the moment. There's always like, I will live for tomorrow. The problem is tomorrow for them never seems to come. It's always like, how do I get more? How do I get more?
What do you want your dad to do? You want him to like go to Europe and shit? Like, what would you want him to
I want him and my mom to go to India, go anywhere they want, you know, go on like road trips together. Like, this is the last probably 10, 15, maybe 20 years of their life. They should be out there doing stuff. Like, I want him to go on like a world cruise. You know what I mean? Like there's like this new thing right now where you
I just
can
saw, yeah, it's like 30,000 a year, and you go
Yeah.
to every country on earth for
Really?
Yep.
it takes 3
Yeah.
years. Takes 3 years, and you go to like every country on earth or something for like 30 grand.
Chris,
Exactly.
we have to acknowledge this comment.
Chris will tip the reset.
Yeah. I don't actually understand that because like I am spending a ton right now, but I'm like, today I told my wife, I'm like, we're gonna die. Like honestly, I think about that all the time. I'm like, what are we gonna do with this? The whole point of making some money is so you live with it and not just keep it in your bank account as just like digital numbers. I actually want to see something tangible. You know what I mean? From it.
But don't you think it also has to do with your age? Like if I was a Mit's age, I would not be thinking.
No.
And I didn't think that way.
No, absolutely not.
Did
You
not
gotta
think that way.
conserve and invest in quality
Yeah.
high companies, not Palantir.
So no
Buy
days
some
off.
Tesla.
Till there's a 3 in front of your age.
Vitaly, I disagree. At Amit's age, he should be investing in the most speculative things
Right, that's
possible. I
true.
mean,
You're right.
think about
You're
it.
right.
When you were buying Tesla, it was a speculative. Enphase at the time when you guys were buying it was speculative. But that's why you guys are wealthy today, is because you were
True,
able to speculate
No,
when
I
you were
agree.
younger.
You have to
Let
speculate
me
when you're young.
let me ask
I
Vitaly
agree.
and Carlos a question, and then guys, you guys can start putting some questions in the comments. We'll do questions the last 10 minutes.
Yeah.
This person says, really want to ask you guys advice for early 20s, which I think will kind of coincide with my question. So answer that question that I just put up with this question, both of you. When you guys were investing in Tesla heavy in 2020, how strong really was
2018
or 2018? Sorry,
Yeah,
How-
2016 and 20.
Yeah. So how strong really was the conviction when, to be honest, it very much was speculative? I mean, like it kind of is like Palantir in terms of just pure speculation. I know it has a lot more fundamentals going for it at that time, but how really confident were you guys that you weren't going to shit the bed and lose a crap ton of money? And how can you coincide that for someone?
Dude, when
trying
you're
to do
that young, it doesn't matter. Dude, you have
No, but they weren't that young.
We weren't that young. I wasn't that young. This is only like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
So that is a good point. Okay.
So that's my point. How did you guys rationalize that?
Carlos, you want to go first? You want to take it first?
How did I rationalize that?
Like what you were in your 40s and you decided to put hundreds of thousands into
A
like
lot
that's
of
a
money.
that's a big risk. You're not like that's a very high risk.
I think it came with when you compare the risk.
We didn't have to put in
compare-
hundreds of thousands, by the way, because we
Yeah.
got it at a 40 billion valuation.
We got
and
it. We got it pretty
20x
cheap.
on us.
Yeah.
Well, even
follow
tens
me?
of thousands is a decent amount of money.
But
Yeah,
I put probably more into other things that haven't returned as much. And Tesla didn't return, mind you. Tesla was not returning money. This is before they were even profitable. It's just one of those things where I've been around long enough, like I've lived long enough to see how things turn out, how I thought something was going to be, and then how it turns out. Like I had a gut feeling Apple was going to be a really good bet. Had a gut feeling Netflix was going to blow up on me, and even Facebook at the time that was going to blow up on me, right? And seeing those things play out, and then going through enough of these crises, like 9/11, the 2008 crash. It just made sense that was where the world was going, and that Tesla had a 5, 6, 7, 10-year head start. I just could not see us still driving around.
Me and Carlos were literally before even the podcast. The reason the podcast started that we have is that we were talking about Tesla all day long. Like when they were unprofitable, and the Model 3 I think wasn't out yet or was coming out, something like that.
We were like right around when the Model Y was announced.
Right, but I'm saying that they weren't selling hundreds of thousands. Like I think they were selling tens of thousands of cars.
Tens of thousands.
And we were just talking about it all the time. Like, how is this not the future? Like, like we saw it clearly that this was the future. So when I went pretty heavy into Tesla. But back then, even 5 years ago, my net worth was way different than it is now, thanks to Enphase and Tesla.
Thanks to Enphase and Tesla, yeah.
And I had real estate too. Like, it's funny that Tesla and Enphase are becoming almost more than the real estate in a matter of like 5 years. And the real estate I was been doing for 15 years. So that's how fast things could move if you're in the right position. But you can't just invest in anything. Tesla was on the way there. They were clearly a monopoly even back then in what they were doing. It was clear.
But how did you know that? Did you do your research or like what?
Because they did. That's the thing, right? That's the big differentiator between smart investors and dumb investors. Dumb investors follow people. Smart investors research other good investors and then follow them along too. You know.
Yeah.
Yes. And first of all, it's not the same as Palantir. We saw a clear way that they can scale their business massively. We saw the growth happening massively. It wasn't like a little bit of growth. We saw still even the small numbers, it was like 50% compounding even back then. But it was just like, well, we have thousands of cars. Oh, we have tens of thousands of cars. Oh, we're going to have hundreds of thousands next year. So we saw it moving in that direction. And that's why I believed, at least, I'm sure Carlos believed. It's not the same with Palantir. Yeah. They were growing much faster.
Vitaly, but Amit right now sees that the same things that you guys saw in Tesla. he's seeing in Palantir. Now, who am I or any of us to say that he's wrong? He could be absolutely right. You
Well,
know, there
we're
were
a panel of people who can say that.
yeah. There were some people I remember, and I was one of them. Like, dude, some of these guys early when they used to pump Tesla, I used to be like, are you guys crazy? I'm looking at the valuation. It makes no sense. You got biggest short sellers in the world. Some of the
when we first started
sellers,
talking to you,
Jim
when we
Chanos.
first started talking
Yeah.
to you, Tesla was a point
Yeah.
of contention, and Enphase in terms of is the valuation justified?
Yeah, but see, that's the thing. After doing the research, that's when I changed a lot of the tunes that I had. But see, that's the thing about investing too, that you can't just look at companies on the surface level and just based on just stock metrics like balance sheets and stuff, because there are underlying factors that you may not be considering, and literally you could blow people up. Like, look at Jim Chanos, one of the smartest guys in the world, right? One of the greatest short sellers in the world. He's been shorting Tesla forever, and that's been one of his biggest losers, and it keeps being one of his biggest losers. So, even the smartest investors got Tesla wrong. So that just goes to show you that we don't know what's going to happen. I mean, Palantir. The one good thing about Tesla, though, that Palantir doesn't have, and maybe you can confirm this. Tesla is a tangible product that you can go out right now, test drive it yourself, use it, and understand.
Look, I agree. The only thing I'll say on
Palantir's
this
not
is there's two letters, and they're called A and I. And I think all of us are underestimating how important it's going to be for enterprise software. And if it is, and Palantir is the winner there, which maybe I'm wrong, but if it is, I think Palantir is explosive. And that is my bull case for it.
But I think you think if Palantir does well, that automatically means that the stock price is going to go up. Palantir is an exciting company for a really small group of people.
Carlos, I agree with you. They have to literally grow their revenues in order to justify the premiums. I agree. They can't grow at 17% year over year. My argument, simple argument, because I've done 1,000 videos on them, so I would hope you give me a little bit of the benefit of doubt.
Oh yeah,
as I've seen every industry they are working within, as I've talked to people that have renewable energy companies that are saying we are using Palantir and we are saving a couple cents a day because of the efficiency of their software, which translates to $88 million of revenue and savings per year. That is the light bulb that is making me say, this has to be scaled.
In fact, I think Chris hit the nail on the head why Palantir will never be as valuable a company as Tesla or even Enphase.
No one says it's going to be $1 trillion.
Hold on.
That's not what I'm arguing.
The reason is because
in terms of return for investors,
I can go outside and I see a Tesla driving, and my neighbor wants one after he sees it, and then I want one after I see it, and then now I have two. Now my neighbors see it. They're talking to me about it because now they want it.
Hold on. This is a B2B company. It's not $1 trillion.
This is what I'm saying. Well, why are you going into something that's harder for you to 10x as opposed to something
Tesla's
that's
already
more
$700 billion?
But if you
you got your 20x.
No. But what do you have any idea how many S curves on? You know what? Somebody that's born 5 years later than you will make so much more money because they won't be spoiled by the knowledge of like this valuation right now. You're almost a victim of your own knowledge of where Tesla's come from, and you think it's come from this. It's come from 20 billion to where it is now. It can't possibly 5x.
Can we be a little realistic? You think Tesla's going to be 6 trillion in the next couple of years?
I do think that Tesla will be the first 5 trillion and $10 trillion company. Yes.
No, I agree with you. Maybe, but a 10x on 700 billion is what?
It's like 700 billion now. What is it right now?
10x. No, it's like 600. Well,
it's like 5-6 trillion. Like that's to imagine Palantir going from $7 to $70 is just way more reasonable to me.
600 billion
going from 500 to 5,000. Right.
So okay, but forget about that for a second.
Did you see Ron Barron on CNBC how he was justifying like how you even get just get to 3.5 or 4 trillion dollars? You take
Ron
10
million
million vehicles
billion off of Tesla. He can talk his shit. He deserves to.
But this is by 2030. I'm saying this is by 2030. It's just even if they hit their stated goals, and Tesla has for the most part hit their stated goals. The timeline say with like AI or full self driving is different from hitting their production goals, right? Like he's hit their production goals. If they hit their production goals at an average sale price of $50,000, that's a $5 trillion company with the multiples that you put on that.
Carlos, here's a simple question. When you look at Elon Musk, just as a business person, forget about Tesla for a second, just as a business person, would you invest with, if you had A or B, Karp or Elon, the next business that he starts, who do you invest with?
Oh, of course.
No,
Elon.
I'm asking Amit.
Oh, for me, it's a no-brainer.
Well,
I would obviously invest in Elon, but I think that analogy makes no sense.
Of course, it does make sense. If I was given Elon, Badri from Enphase, or Karp, I would obviously Elon is first. If I'm not allowed to go with Elon, I go with Badri. Then
you don't like
Badri. I
But
say forget
you've
it. I'm
got
not
to
in the stock
protect-
market.
you've got
No,
to
but you don't
remind
have to.
yourself-
But it's like you don't have to like Carp to just not think he's.
No, I
he's
get it.
a
I get
big
it. I've
shepherd
heard
for your money.
I've heard your bear case on Carp, but now every time you guys
He's
mention
not good
this,
with money. He's not a good businessman.
No,
Do you
sure.
trust you?
Why
You
can't
would
you admit that?
Again,
He's not a good businessman. Just admit it. Say
I
it.
honestly think you guys sound ideological and incredibly dogmatic every time your bear case or Palantir is Carp.
Dude,
Like,
why
if you
can't you
blame
just say
CEO
he is
for
not
But
the
he's
right
the CEO.
person
He's the
to lead
CEO of the company. My bull case on Apple would have been Steve Jobs. My bull case on Tesla has largely to do with Elon Musk. So why isn't it fair to say that the bear case is the CEO? I do think if what's his name? If Carp quits and you put a guy that just talks numbers, Palantir shoots up to your 70 bucks.
And
But he's got to
I
go.
actually believe it's probably a 3x right away when Carp is gone.
If he goes.
Amit, one of the things that you have to consider is the level of there are going to be CEOs that are cut above the rest, where they can do things and they can pivot, they can see things around the corner that other people can't. And when you have a strong candidate, like I'll give you an example, Frank Slootman from Snowflake. While the product you can analyze as much as you want, that Snowflake does this, Snowflake does that. When you have leadership that's, has had multi-billion-dollar success stories in the past, that just goes to show you that whatever magic that they had in the past, they can come and translate it and put that into effect in this new
Look, I
company.
get it, and I'm so mad this turned into Carp because that's not the conversation.
No, but it should be the conversation.
Yeah,
he is the leader of the company.
No, he can't. Because Chris, you're talking
No,
about.
but let him talk. Let him make his point. Let him
Frank.
make his point.
No, I've heard Chris a million times explain Frank Slootman and execution. I get it. I've heard it literally every podcast. I understand it. I've heard you guys every podcast talk about Carp. The problem is if we can for 2 seconds exclude the CEO, if we can be not dogmatic enough to actually talk about the tech and the product, I don't think we can have a debate outside of Chris because you and Carlos have simply not done the level of research that's required to understand the tech and the product. You hate Carp and you hate the sales strategy. If that's the case, then that's fine. We can disagree on that. But every time we have this conversation, you guys can't be like, well, Carp's an idiot. Because then
why not? Because the leader matters.
This is a great comment right here. Everyone hated Elon before.
No. The leader matters of the business. Forget about. I'm not saying hate. This has nothing to do with hate. I'm saying
did not like Elon
businessman.
until Tesla went to the moon.
Dude,
I don't
I'm not
think
talking
so.
about
No,
hating
no.
Elon. I'm talking about a business person. Who is a better business person? Elon is a better business person than Carp. Flat out, there's no debate with anybody.
Wait. Hold on. Why? Hold on. How is that at all relevant to the argument I'm saying about AI?
He can't give you your 10x's if he's a bad business leader. He just can't do it. That's the guy that can't do it.
Yeah.
So,
dude, I invested in a little company FUV with what's his name, Mark. Great guy, fabulous guy to chat with. He just can't do it.
So you lost money in a shitty stock because of a lot of reasons outside of the CEO. It was a shitty stock, and that sucks. You lost some money on that.
I didn't lose. I actually made
money. CEO, in your opinion, is shitty. And again, your opinion. This is a guy that is shaking hands with some of the most important leaders of the world, getting business deals done. Maybe not at the level you want him to get done, but to call him an idiot, call him a shitty poetry, pot smoking head, whatever. Not only is it disrespectful, but it ignores the technology that the company is building that allows him to get a meeting with Volodymyr Zelensky.
Do you? Okay,
I think that's
what do you mean allows him to get a meeting? Nothing. The CIA bought him the ticket and put him right there. This is part of my bear case.
Who sounds like a zealot, by the way? Us or him?
My question is, do you fundamentally believe that Carp wakes up every day and thinks about creating value for shareholders? Do you think he fundamentally cares about the shareholders of the company?
Yes.
Or what is he most motivated by? Or is it self-interest, power? What do you think really is at the core of his motivation?
The core of his motivation is Western democracy and making sure he upholds that. Now, you might be like, oh, well, that doesn't matter. Well, that has financial returns because he's talked about the bigger shareholders, which are the employees that have options that he said are not going to be profitable or not going to give appreciation on until they become GAAP profitable. He talked about this in Q4 2022. So he said, look, we know Wall Street's not going to love us until we become GAAP profitable, which means our employees are going to get killed. If anything, he cares a lot about those employees that have been there for 17 years, wants them to do well, which means he's going to get the company to be GAAP profitable. I don't know if that's a 20x, but I do think from 7 to 70, as the TAM is growing for AI and they have the software that is premier in being able to implement it across every.
I think the only good point you have.
That's where I think Palantir has.
Honestly, the point you have, if they get rid of Carp, they do better. But the fact that the TAM of AI is obviously on a growth trajectory might be enough to get you your 3 to 5, 10x. That's possible just by itself.
Well, we all agree.
Not because this guy is good.
Well, we all agree that AI is like the next coming of the internet to an extent. We all agree.
It's the next gold rush. Yeah.
Yeah. So if that's the case, and we're talking about picks and shovels, and again, you guys haven't done the research on all the ways Palantir has operationalized AI in various sectors. Where, like, climate change is a healthcare and climate change are both multi-trillion-dollar industries.
Yep.
If you guys even knew some of the partnerships Palantir has in the healthcare and climate change space of how they're solving big data problems, because these are data problems, you would just be amazed at the valuation it is now in comparison to the potential TAM and the potential 5 to 10x. That's very easy if they execute. Execution is the risk. I agree with you, but I don't think Karp being a poet is the risk. Like I just
no, but
don't
but Amit, what we're trying to say, and maybe these guys are a little bit different. Me, I've done the research on Palantir. I think it's a great product. I think everything that's like out there is great. I think Alex Karp was able to nurture this baby and make a very, very good product. I'm not disagreeing with you on that. My thing is, when it comes to sometimes even founders, right? Founders have founderitis where sometimes they know where the industry is going, but they have a dogmatic thinking that prevents them from taking it to the next level. Sometimes the best CEOs are the ones that know, hey, let me step down and put someone else forward who knows how to actually run the business, be able to monetize.
If down, I would sell all my Palantir tomorrow. And that's just
that's so wrong. That's so wrong. That's
not so wrong. I don't trust Sean to run the ship.
No, but you without looking,
who are they going to replace him with?
So
Chris?
Technically, you're not investing in Palantir. You're just investing in Alex Karp because you just
said no. There's a lot of people that sold Apple after Steve Jobs. Like my say,
and those people are all miserable right
but
now.
Apple makes iPhones. Like Palantir works with government, and you need a guy like Karp to be able to get governments on board.
But Amit, that's the point that we're trying to make. That look, are you investing in Palantir? Or are you investing in Alex Karp?
I'm investing in both. Obviously, I'm investing.
No, you're not. You're not based on that.
I just want to say this is the best Palantir weekly ever.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying based on that last statement, that's objectively false.
No, because if an investment thesis involves management, technology, and leadership, I hold leadership at like a really high part of my thesis, which means now if they replace Karp with someone amazing, then I would consider it. But if he just steps down tomorrow, of course, I'm like, wait, something's wrong if Karp's leaving.
So then a flip side question would be, what was it about Elon Musk's management style that made you wait so long to invest?
No, it wasn't Elon's fault.
You were throwing money at Palantir.
It wasn't Elon's fault. I was just a dumbass. I was in college. I was an idiot. In 2019, 2020, I was just graduating college. I had no idea about the stock.
Okay, but the day that you bought your 25,000 in Palantir, the day that you bought that,
it was over a couple months.
Over a couple months. But what made you buy that? What made Alex Karp for you feel more investable than Elon Musk at that time? What was it about him?
Hey,
you said, I'm going to trust him with my money because you had a choice.
Well, remember at that time, Tesla was already, again, pretty highly valued in comparison to Tesla. It was 2021. 2021 was crazy. And I didn't understand valuations at the time, but I still knew it felt harder for me to see the 3-4x on Tesla versus something like Palantir.
But you did consider that? Like you were actively like, I should think about this, but the valuation.
Yeah, of course, in 2020. But Tesla was running up like 20% every other day. Like it was insane in 2021, right? I'm exaggerating, but at that level, I'm just like, all right, it doesn't feel comfortable. Whereas Palantir stayed I didn't buy at the 40s or 30s. I started buying at 20 to 23. And it was
Carlos,
like 6 months.
Me and Carlos, by the way, we had shares and we're like, okay, we're not buying it over 1,000. We're not doing this because before the splits, we're not doing it. Okay, we're buying it at 1,000. We're not buying at $1,500.
Right.
Let's buy some shares at 15. We're not doing it at 2,000. Okay.
There was a day when they were announcing.
They were still up.
Yeah,
crazy.
They were announcing a SpaceX launch, and it always pops after like a good successful launch. And I was like, I gotta find money. I like
either I'll be right or I'll be wrong. I feel, and this is where if I'm wrong, I'll gladly admit I'm wrong. But at some point, you've done so much research where you're like, I'm gonna go home with the ship and see if my research.
The problem is you're forgetting.
Vitaly and I did a bunch of research and hundreds of hours probably of interviews and discussions about that company FUV, and it went under.
But FUV
doesn't matter how much you invest.
We did already like at least 50 hours of research on Karp and Palantir, and it's like the stupidest company to invest in. Honestly, it's a waste of our time talking about it. Even I don't want this podcast to evolve into this shitty company.
It's just when you say stupidest company to invest in because of Karp, that's where you become too ideological to me.
I'm not, because
no one in their right mind who has
you have to follow the leadership.
Degree.
It seems like you're not following the leader, and the leader is not a good businessman, nor is he a good technologist. He actually does not understand what he's actually doing. And he never talks about the actual technology in enough detail. No.
You have to stop talking right here. You have not watched his Palantir ontology videos where he's talking with Akash. Chris knows the one where he's literally cutting off the CTO to explain him technical terms. You have not seen those videos. And that's okay because I don't expect you to. But these are real things that exist. I will link it to you in 2 minutes. These are things
I saw an interview recently with Carp where he was talking about the beginnings of the company, and a lot of VCs were actually nervous about investing it because he did not have a business background because of his. So this is like even the VCs were concerned.
Well, the VCs don't want to.
Here's a question: would you rather invest in Elon and Twitter, or for you, Carlos, Elon and Twitter, or Carp and Palantir?
How much money?
100 grand.
25,000.
100 grand.
I'd rather invest in Carp and Palantir than in Elon and Twitter. No, I think investing in Elon and Twitter is such a genius.
Probably
move.
an easier bet,
especially if he gives us a 20 billion valuation, like he's giving the.
Oh no, let's say he's giving you a 44 billion, where you're putting
even at 44 billion, I believe Elon when Elon, you have to understand something, and this is something I was thinking about today. He's one of the only CEOs that I know that has an actual what is that, diagnosed medical condition. Like he has Asperger's. And so his brain fundamentally just works differently than almost anyone else. And so I think when he says he has a path to get it from whatever 20 billion to 250 billion.
Okay, so let's break that down. How do you think Tesla it goes from 44 to 250 billion? Where do you think that comes from? Because we did the math yesterday. I don't know if you saw the pod.
I saw a little.
They would have to get some ridiculous number of conversions on this $8 a month, or ad revenue would have to go up literally like 5x, which is not happening on Twitter in order to justify.
I know, but at this point we're leaving out the Elon factor. Who knew Tesla would hit $1 trillion? Like that is not something I even had in the bingo deck.
No.
Wait, before you guys do anything, hey guys, can you hit the like button and subscribe for the channel? We're trying to make this grow, and I think right now we only have like 44 likes. Help us out here. Throw some likes so that this actually trends. Appreciate it.
You can't put the Elon argument on. You can't put the Elon argument on an advertising business. Like the car is like massive TAM. Advertising at the end of the day, there's a video that popped up on Twitter today of someone getting shot in the face. No advertisers want to be on Twitter when you're showing that stuff, right? And I love the free speech, but at the end of the day, that's what free speech entails. Random shit is going to pop. There's no censorship. So if ad revenue isn't coming and verifications are, and by the way, I'm bullish on Elon and Twitter, but I don't see it going from 44 billion to 250 billion quicker than Palantir going from 14 billion to 70 billion.
Can we answer some questions if there are any?
So you guys don't have an answer to that.
Dude, why don't you do a poll?
What's the direct question?
How does Elon 5x
Dude, we're on a Palantir channel. If you don't know that, okay? So
you guys actually have
we went to the wolf.
No, we're on a Palantir channel with everybody calling us idiots now, and we're one hit wonders.
You guys have a lot of
10 things right in our freaking lives. Carlos, you want to talk about all the things we got right in the last decade? Besides all the things we got wrong.
No, we've gotten some things right. But here's the thing, Vitaly. You also have to consider that we're 40-something years old.
This is what I'm saying. Like people
been around the block.
Guys.
We could be wrong.
Every time there's a comment against you, you don't have to flex all the right things you got. We know you guys have made a lot of money, but when you talk shit about Palantir and it comes a debate, it's a fun debate.
That's what I'm saying. It's a Palantir channel, basically.
But now here's the question. No, but there's a lot of people saying Amit's too emotional, but you guys have support as well. How does Elon 5x Twitter? That's my question. Because you'd rather invest in that versus
forget about that. We can answer that tomorrow. Okay.
No, because there's no answer. Because you know he's not going to 5x Twitter that easily.
No. I think when you think about Elon 5xing Twitter, okay, it's not just about the things that you can see. It's about new products and or new services that we might not be privy to that are built upon the platform the way that he's trying to restructure it now. That's like you asking me, what's the building going to look like when we're only working on the foundation? You don't really know what it's going to be just yet. It's more than just $8 a month or $12 a month. I'm sure it has to be that. It can't just.
They have 13 billion in debt though, Carlos. They got to innovate fast. If your argument.
Okay, how much debt to the
Palantir have? Zero.
Let's save this. Let's save this for tomorrow. Okay. Let's critically think about it. Let's critically think about it, and then we can go back. We can think about this and have it tomorrow. The debate. Is Palantir going to outperform under Carp, or is Twitter going to outperform
it's a
under?
Good debate. It's a fun. First of all, we have 246 people here. This is the most we've ever had ever.
Apparently, when we yell at each other,
head to head, like literally put money down on it. You know what I mean? Like go live, buy whatever.
I bet my friend $1,000 that Twitter won't go bankrupt because he thought it was over. He's an engineer, by the way. He was like, "There's no way Elon's pulling this off in December." I was like, "He's going to pull it off." I said, "It's like a 1-year bet." So I'm bullish on Twitter. 5x $250 billion when no one wants to advertise.
If anyone else was behind the wheel, I would say you're absolutely right. It's going under, but it's not anybody behind the wheel. It's a freaking lunatic man who works 20 hours a day. Okay?
I agree, but at some point you can't say that as a fairy tale. You have to back it up with some logic, and
he backs it up by making everything successful that he touches. That's what he backs it up with.
Dude, I will definitely invest in the guy that sleeps in the fucking factory to make sure this product succeeds, as opposed to the guy who flies around a private jet. You know,
Absolutely. 100%
Wait,
all
Elon has a
time.
Elon has a private jet. There's a private
I,
jet.
I just want to point out
Yeah.
FUV for 1 second. We had a conversation with Mark Frommeyer from FUV, and I asked him, "Hey, Mark, because they were having production issues, do you sleep?" Or me and Carlos asked. I forgot. Who
Yeah,
asked
we
the
would
question.
ask him if
Are
he's
you going to
sleeping
sleep at the factory like Elon sleeps at the factory? We had an interview with him. He's like, I don't have to sleep in the factory. I can sleep in my house. It's down the block.
Well, he says it's like it's real close. He says it's right there. It's real
Wait,
close.
how did he say that? How
How
did
did I not sell everything that day? I don't know. I mean,
Wait,
it's-
how did he say that when you asked that question? Was he like
we have it in our? You can watch
You
it.
can
in our
look at it
videos,
as one of our interviews. Yeah, yeah.
but he basically says you don't have to sleep in a factory in order to have a successful company, and apparently you do because it's failing miserably.
It was an EV company, right? That you have FUV?
Yes, but my point is like the signs of a CEO are there when they speak to you or when they just go on live or have interviews. And I was ignoring them just like you're ignoring a lot of these signs.
But
now I'm very cognizant of all of these signs and I'm paying attention to
why did you
Elon
invest in an
and
EV
Badri.
company when you know Tesla's the future? Why did you even do that? Like that to me is the
Because
bigger
they
reason
were
it failed,
because they
not
were
because of the
specific
CEO.
because they were specifically filling a market that if the
Micromobility.
EV business did grow, they were doing a micro mobility market that for safety reasons Tesla would never have a product. Like they'll never do a bike just because of the
But
safety.
I thought Elon can figure everything out, right?
Wait, guys.
No, but he just won't. He almost died. Like Elon had like a bad motorcycle accident apparently.
Here's-
No,
From
he
then
can
on,
figure
he-
everything out.
Let's answer some
Right?
questions. Okay, move on. We got to end.
Here's
this.
just
no.
one last thing before we do questions. I think Rivian is a buy. We could
What?
save that for another time.
Let me take a look at it first. So
You think
RIVIN, RIVN.
Well, they do have the cash to burn. It's a buy to make maybe like for a trade, but you're not buying it for like long term.
Hey, you know what? At $11 billion, this is getting very interesting. This is a good this could be a great swing trade, by the
Okay,
way.
real quick, we first of all we got 100 likes. Thank you for the
102
guys.
likes.
That means a lot. And we had 240 people. This is the most that ever showed up.
Can you
so
can you
thank
guys subscribe right now? Just hit that button if you're enjoying us yelling at each other for a little
Yeah,
bit.
and congrats on 17K, Amit. Finally, you broke
Yeah.
the wall.
Yeah,
I think
dude.
it was stuck at like 16.9 for
It was
like
69
ever.
for like 2 weeks, and then
Yeah. Yep.
All right, nice.
Okay, some questions. We got 5 minutes of questions. Questions.
And no Palantir questions. Not gonna
No
happen.
Palantir.
Yeah, no.
Palantir. Palantir is awesome.
Says BP.
Again, I'm gonna send you that video of Vitaly of him talking tech. I want you to listen. He's literally talking about data and like algorithms and all this shit.
Oh my god.
And not from a philosophical. He's literally
Somebody help
talking
me.
about their software.
Dude,
I
can we
just-
just
I
answer
just-
some questions now
I
that
just
are
think- I think that listen, I think Palantir's relationship and importance to the federal government.
my God,
it
he's continuing.
wait, let me just say this. It
Oh my
de-incentivizes.
God.
Hear me out. It de-incentivizes that company from making money from shareholders. Like honestly, Palantir will never go out of business. It is impossible for Palantir to go bankrupt. It's too important to the federal government, to the CIA, and for that reason, I don't think they're incentivized for massive growth. They're incentivized for the value that they bring to the government, but not to the shareholders. That's my opinion. That's why I don't think that they're gonna 10x on you.
Oh shit. Okay. Yeah. No, that's
And
fair.
important news: I eat a donut every morning, still alive. Elon Musk.
Yeah, that was a weird tweet.
Okay? Important.
Guys,
Break-
the name
breaking
of the
news.
podcast was Alibaba is now Alibaba, but we never talked about Alibaba.
All right.
So, what do you guys think?
Okay.
Good moves.
Well, no, that's like a whole conversation. Just simple questions.
Yes, I think it's a good move because the Chinese regulators are not about to let one company become so big. Like we say we don't like monopolies, they hate monopolies. Like they're like, oh, we are not going to let anyone get enough power to disrupt the Chinese government. So this is not Alibaba saying we want to split the company. This is the Chinese government saying you need to split the company. Otherwise, we'll split the company for you.
Agreed. And they're killing their own industry, as we talked about before. They're ruining their tech industry.
Yep.
Okay, we want to know what Carlos is puffing on.
Yeah.
It's just the Hawaiian Pogue, this guy.
Okay.
That's the only way you can talk about Palantir and not go crazy.
There was some questions.
No, there's no nothing in it. No weed, no nothing. It's just a nice blast of Hawaiian Pogue.
Shout out to Nutpicker for the 99-cent super sticker. Thank you for that.
So Bud BEHUD thinks that we're ignorant, Vitaly. That's awesome.
Yeah. A guy named Bud.
The hate
ignorant.
comments are pretty cool. Like I kind of feel
They're
like
not hate guys. They just think you're.
if someone calls you ignorant, it's
no,
pretty much a hate comment,
ignorant
yeah.
is just you literally have not seen the videos that I've seen. That
But
is ignorant.
you know what it's like? Look, what's that company Aptera, right? That company Aptera. You know the company Aptera. They're making
Another
these
EV
sort of
company.
solar. They're making these like solar powered cars, right? I just think, and people, we talk about it on our Discord sometime, and people are like, man, I would never invest in that company. Like that company's not going anywhere. People go, you don't understand. They've been around 20 years. Look at all the technology. I'm like, I just don't believe that anyone's gonna buy that. So for me is a full stop. It's the same thing with Palantir. It's not that I don't want to research it. The fundamental out of the gate, I don't believe in the company or the management. So I'm not going to waste time watching videos on that like I wouldn't watch videos on Aptera. I would rather put my money in
You're
time.
not going to watch videos because you okay. All right.
If you already don't believe in something, why would we need to learn more about not?
But then you
believing
can't
it?
say the company sucks if you don't.
No,
believe
yes,
it.
you
If
can.
haven't
We've done
the
our research
on the
Stop it. We've
company,
done our
like,
research. It sucks.
What is this? What? You'd be like,
Palantir Weekly
All right,
Part
all right,
2.
more
Anyway,
questions,
you
more
should just put this on the
questions, guys.
Palantir Weekly pod and stop your like circle.
Look, he
jerks
made him
to
in.
do.
He's going to get carved. He's going to get carved.
I wouldn't touch DNA with a 10-foot pole. I've had that position for like 6 months. I didn't buy any stock. I've had my negative position on DNA. I don't think DNA is a good company. I think they're burning too much cash. The insiders are selling like crazy. Wouldn't touch DNA.
Agreed.
Okay, hey guys, what's your top 3 stocks 5 to 10 year time frame?
Palantir.
Top three. Well, top three things to buy, in my opinion. In my opinion,
It's Palantir.
Palantir calls, Palantir spreads.
Actually, if I was gonna buy puts, it would probably be on Palantir. That'd be the only company.
No, I wouldn't.
What are
buy-
the actual 3 companies?
I wouldn't buy puts on Palantir.
I know. I'm
Mine
kidding,
are
Jay.
Palantir, SoFi, Tesla. Those are my 3.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry,
yeah.
Palantir, Enphase, SoFi, because I think Enphase is more upside than Tesla. So we'll do that. Yeah.
I'll give you one of mine. The other two I'm like super debating about, but my number one is Apcellera. Apcellera is a $2 billion.
Which is hilarious. Why Chris
CRO.
hates DNA, because Apcellera is the same shit except they don't.
No,
do
it's
synthetic
not.
Biology.
No, it's not.
It's like
No, it's
that's
not.
the
It's
most
not even-
hilarious part of him hating DNA. It's like-
First of all, Apcellera doesn't do synthetic biology.
exactly. That's
So-
the only difference.
No, that's not the only difference. There's big differences, dude. There's actual real IP behind it. They've had real products come out and actually buy and sell, and they didn't have to like invest
DNA increased their
Weight
program by
Watchers.
90%. Their cell biology
They didn't
program by
have to
90%.
give money to the pharmaceutical company to buy their own product. Like trust me, there's a huge difference between Apcellera and DNA. All right. And you got Peter Thiel on the board of Apcellera. So there you go.
So
I think Peter
is
Thiel got lucky. He got in bed with Elon Musk. I think that's why he's lucky and he's a billionaire. I'll just say it flat
He
out.
actually he also invested in Zuckerberg. when he
Yeah.
was young, so
There's a lot of companies.
Yeah,
that,
but how did he get that money? Because Elon Musk worked his ass off.
no, but people said Elon actually didn't do much for PayPal. I don't know if that's true or not.
I would doubt that. The
Real
guy slept
quick,
in his
Chris,
office. The guy slept in his office for X.com.
DNA 90% growth in sales program, 27% foundry, 52% revenue, acquisition of Zymergen, 300% increase in proprietary. Like there is a lot of stuff there that you're kind of ignoring when you just say DNA is bullshit. But we'll see what happens.
All right. So why are insiders selling like crazy?
Well, I don't know about that question. That's why I don't have a big position, because I don't know why the hell they're selling. But
And
I think
it's
there's
not a
some
little
stuff
bit
there.
too. They were selling like literally the stock is like $1, and they've
I
already
know.
cleared
That's
out.
why it's not a big position. For
Yeah.
me.
That tells me that they're seeing this. The market still has a lot more to fall. I think people got a false sense of we're okay right now. We haven't seen the floor, guys. The floor is about to come out.
Okay, well, Carlos, what are your 3 stocks?
All right, we got a bear
Tesla,
here.
Bitcoin, and Ethereum. I just don't see how any successful portfolio can exist.
Well, I'm going to say something to reach heights. Obviously, Enphase and Tesla. I'm not
Well,
gonna,
Enphase in there too.
I'm not even going to pick those. Let me pick something else that I'm actually bullish on. I'm investing in Amazon right now. I'm investing in Google right now, and I'm investing in Unity, which we talked about briefly. But I think Unity is one of those monopolies that's unknown yet. It's already a monopoly in its industry, but I think in the future it's going to be a lot bigger. Along with Epic Games, who's doing all the 3D virtual metaverse stuff.
I think Microsoft too is another big play if you want to add to that, because Microsoft.
We weren't allowed
of
to have
course,
4. We weren't allowed to
Yeah,
have 4. It's
Microsoft
3.
for me. I only said one, so I'll give you another one. Microsoft, even though they look like they're already have probably hit the peak, they're nowhere near their peak. They're investing in so many verticals in the industries, and I think they are going to be an exceptionally strong company with AI. Like you can see it all over their products. I think we are going to see.
Is
the
your search
dominance of
engine Bing
Microsoft
right
come
now?
in.
Do you use Bing?
You want to know something funny? I was using Google, right? And for some reason, the last maybe 2-3 weeks, I don't know if this is happening to you guys, but Chrome is starting to crash way more. And so now I'm like, okay, now I got to start using Edge a little bit. Like at work, we're all using Edge now because it's the default. Like Microsoft doesn't even let you use the old Internet Explorer anymore. So we have to
Palantir's
migrate.
Edge AI?
No. Edge, like Microsoft Edge, you know, the browser. It's all built.
He knows.
Yeah.
Chris never gets it when I'm being.
Yeah.
Okay.
But so now that I'm using
Chris, you like it when people edge you?
yeah, okay. No, I edge myself. That's how it works, bro.
To edge him one day, bro.
But yeah, Microsoft is another big one, man. You know.
Okay, this is to your guys' point. I'm a data lead at a Fortune 500 company, and management bashed me for even bringing up Palantir as a solution. They don't trust the company. So there's your point.
Boom. Thank you. Finally, someone actually in the industry.
And that's a Fortune 500 company. The guy, okay, just gonna leave that right there.
Now the opposite is CodeStrap is joining a Fortune 500 company, and he's literally deploying Palantir Foundry around the world, right? So
okay, but he's a cyborg, and we know this. Everybody knows that he's not human. He's a cyborg. So come on, let's talk about humans.
Okay, I think that's it in terms of questions.
Just close it down.
Stop this Discord shit, bro. What the fuck?
We were supposed to be on 45 minutes, by the way. Instead,
But this one actually felt organic. It wasn't a struggle.
The other ones were all struggles for you.
Sometimes we're
Sundays
sitting there
were
like we're
super
all on like an
organic.
awkward first date. You're like, yeah,
Okay.
so where'd you go to school?
Okay, last question to wrap this off. What age was your first date?
That's a
Do
good
you
one.
remember the first date? Or not even what age? What did you do on your first date ever?
Dude, I didn't know I was on a date. I didn't even know I was on a date. Like that's
Me either. Kind of.
Diana, I remember her name. Diana Chung asked me like, "Oh, let's go to Fridays. You know, we'll have a great time." And this is the Fridays in Times Square. So I'm like, okay, whatever. This is just some girl who wants to go get some. So then like the check comes, and I'm like, okay, here's your half, here's mine. She's like, I was like, I didn't bring more. I didn't bring a lot of money. You know, I'm expecting to pay for my meal, and that's it. Like, dude, I'm a high school
So she
kid.
wasn't cute.
Huh?
Basically.
So
She was
wasn't cute.
okay. She was okay.
Well, how old?
she was
How
cute,
old?
though.
How
You know,
old
you'd
were
be-
you? Were
I
broke.
think I was like 16. I was 16 at the time.
All right, you're
so,
justified.
so I'm at this Fridays. I'm like, holy shit, I don't got enough to fucking pay for her shit too. So I mean, I didn't know it was a date. Like she just asked me out, and I said okay. So all right.
All right,
And then
Vitaly,
she's
what
like,
was-
no, we're on a date. Like all right.
was your first
I was a
date?
counselor in a camp, and there was another counselor, and I asked her out, and it was the first real date I had. We went to, I forgot where we ate, but then we went to by the I don't know if you guys know Brooklyn, but you're overlooking Caesar's Bay Bazaar. What's that ocean called right there? Is that I don't know, the Atlantic?
The
I don't even
Atlantic?
know. The Atlantic.
Yeah, little lake.
No, you're not from the Northeast.
Wait, did you say
California, bro.
Caesar's Bay? You meant Sheepshed Bay, right?
No, Caesar's
No.
Bay.
Caesar's
is-
Bay
is-
Bazaar was a
I
place,
know exactly what it is.
and
gotcha, okay.
we went there, and actually it was a very nice time. So if Cindy's listening to this, you know, you have a lot to compete with.
Cindy's like, I have nothing to compete. This is a nice
See,
comment.
if
I
I took a girl on a date, I was taking her to like the Greek diner El Greco in Sheepshed Bay. That's
Oh,
where I would take
you
a
know,
girl.
we went there a lot.
That is a good
Yeah.
spot.
Yo,
Yeah.
we've been there a lot, man.
That is a good
Yeah.
spot.
That was a
Hey,
late
Carlos.
night joint. Yeah.
yeah,
First
Bay
date.
Parkway. Yeah, Bay Parkway. They know where the Wendy's is. The Wendy's.
Carlos, your first date.
I was 46 when I was a counselor.
I remember.
Now you see, those comments are funny. If you guys come up
That's
with that
funny.
kind
That
of
is
shit, then
funny.
that is funny.
That is funny. First date. I don't even know. Like it's like Chris. Like I didn't know I was really on a date, but I would say it was in that same area. It was probably in Spumoni Gardens, in Brooklyn,
I remember that one too. Yeah.
and had the square slices, and then you get like a little ice cream after that. You kind of take a walk up 86th Street, you know, and then
Man,
try
I
to
miss
get in
those
there.
times, huh?
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's cool. All right, that's the end of the pod.
My
everybody.
question is, why did you ask that?
Well, I wanted to know because I've never been on a date. So it's
Are you asking?
You've
No,
never
you're
been on
thinking
a
about
date?
women. You're,
I've
this
never
is
been on a
this
date,
is
so I
your.
can't
You're
answer
thinking
the
about
question,
women.
so we
You
gotta
want a
go now.
girlfriend. This is
You've
why
never
I'm
had a
on
first
date.
date?
Can't do this.
Wait, hold on. You've never had a first date? Are you serious?
Guys, I'm being sarcastic. I'm playing into the gets.
I don't know. I could believe it.
Wow, that's kind of
Jesus,
mean.
Jesus,
That's-
No, I
Damn,
mean, you never
shots
know. You're a busy
fired.
guy.
No, my first date was in it was December 26th. I remember because it was the day after Christmas. We went to New York. We watched a Disney movie called Into the Woods, if you remember that one. And
Yeah.
then we went to get sushi. And then we went to this spot behind Central Park that was like under construction, but they had benches and they were kind of closed off. And we just like sat there for a bit. So it was fun.
Making out.
Yeah, pretty much.
He's like, and they never found the
He
body.
sat there for a bit.
Wasn't me.
Oh my gosh.
We
Okay.
sat there talking about a podcast app I have in the future.
It's like, yo, do you ever just have ideas, but they're in audio format? Do you ever just think like,
Imagine a place where no one will go. All right, I think it's a good time to exit.
All right.
okay,
All
that
right,
was great.
guys.
Thank you all for being here. We'll see you
Have a good
tomorrow, 10 p.m. Thank you all. Bye-bye.
Later.
Bye,
Later.
guys.